What do you do when motivation fades and you're left staring at your goals with no energy to chase them? When the fire inside dims, how do you keep going? That's where Stoicism steps in, not as a quick fix, but as a timeless guide. In the grand theater of life, it's not our thoughts or intentions that define us, it's our actions. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers, reminds us that deeds speak louder than dreams. It's easy to act when emotions are high, when passion fuels our drive. But what happens when that emotional spark fades? What keeps us moving forward when inspiration is nowhere to be found? We've all felt it. Days when energy drops, goals feel distant, and the desire to act seems buried under stress or doubt, not because we stopped caring, but because the emotional fuel just isn't there. That's exactly when Stoic wisdom becomes not just helpful, but essential. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond fleeting emotions and tap into a deeper source of strength, a kind of inner fire that doesn't flicker with every passing mood. As Seneca wisely wrote, when a man doesn't know what harbor he's heading for, no wind is the right wind. Without clear direction, even the strongest efforts can become meaningless. This is your call to define your harbor, to get clear on your purpose, and to sail through life not by chance, but by choice. Because true action doesn't wait for motivation. It's built on virtue, intention, and clarity. So today I invite you to explore 7 Stoic lessons that will help you take consistent, purposeful action, even when your emotions tell you otherwise. These aren't just ideas. They're tools you can use to rewire your mindset, reshape your behavior, and ignite that deeper, steadier flame of resolve. Before we dive in, here's a challenge. Stay with me until the very end. Don't skip ahead. Don't bail early. You might just find the one lesson that changes everything for you. If you're serious about growth and ready to live with greater discipline, strength, and clarity, then let these Stoic principles guide the way. Discipline yourself, mastering the art of self-control. Discipline is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's not about restriction, it's about liberation. Marcus Aurelius believed that true freedom comes from controlling our reactions, not our surroundings. In a world of constant noise and temptation, self-discipline isn't a burden, it's your greatest strength. So how exactly does self-discipline help us take action, especially when motivation is low? It starts with a powerful realization. You have more control than you think. Self-discipline means understanding your impulses, not being ruled by them. It's choosing progress over comfort, values over moods, purpose over distraction. Think of it like steering a ship through a storm. Discipline is the steady hand on the wheel, keeping you on course even when waves rise. And no, it doesn't require grand heroic acts. It's about building consistency through small intentional choices. Epictetus advised us to do good over and over again until virtue becomes habit, not effort. Here's how to make that happen. Each morning, anchor yourself with your values. Set one goal that reflects what truly matters to you. And throughout the day, challenge your willpower in small ways. Whether it's resisting a distraction, finishing a task, or staying calm under pressure. Over time, these tiny victories build up. One by one, they form the threads of a stronger, more disciplined character. This is how Stoics grow, not in bursts of passion, but through quiet, steady determination. So if you want to act with purpose, even on days when nothing feels right, start with discipline. Because when your actions align with your values, you won't need to wait for motivation. You'll already be in motion. We've seen how discipline sets the foundation. But let's be honest, discipline isn't a straight road. It's full of setbacks, doubts, and moments when giving up feels easier than going on. True self-discipline, the kind that transforms your life, isn't built in moments of ease. It's forged in struggle. It's marked by the days you stumble, the times you break your routine, and those hard moments when you have to start again from scratch. Seneca, with his deep understanding of human nature, didn't just accept this, he embraced it. He once said that we are made stronger and more refined when we confront our weaknesses head on in the heat of life's challenges. That's the heart of Stoic discipline. It's not just about getting things done. It's about spiritual strength. A quiet but powerful commitment to live with integrity, to keep your word to yourself, and to chase your goals with the kind of consistency that doesn't waver with your mood. Discipline, through the Stoic lens, is much more than a tool for productivity. It's a way of being, a daily practice of aligning your actions with your core values. It's about recognizing that you're part of a greater order, and your job is to live in harmony with it, not by force, but with grace and intention. And that brings us to a crucial question. How do we strengthen that inner resolve? How do we live every day in line with the virtues we claim to believe in? Start here. Understand the Stoic belief that real power comes from within, not from trying to control what happens outside, but from choosing how you respond to it. The Stoics taught us to draw a clear line between what's within our control, our thoughts, emotions, choices, and what isn't. Other people's opinions, random events, setbacks. The moment you grasp that, you become freer. When life gets tough, pause. Ask yourself, can I change this? If not, shift your focus inward. Control your reactions, not the world. That self-awareness is key to self-discipline. Most of us go through life reacting, impulsively, emotionally, unconsciously. But Stoic practice encourages us to become observers of our own minds, to pause, to reflect, to understand what triggers us and why. Try this. At the end of your day, take 5 minutes to reflect. Write in a journal if it helps. Ask yourself, why did I react that way today? What was I chasing or avoiding? When you know your patterns, you can reshape them. Now let's talk about pain, not the dramatic kind, but the small, voluntary discomforts that toughen your mind. The Stoics didn't fear pain. In fact, they welcomed it as training. Cold showers, fasting, workouts, silence. These aren't punishments, they're practice. When you learn to endure small discomforts daily, you're building resilience, training your mind to stay calm when life turns hard. But here's the secret that pulls all of this together. Clarity. You need to know what you're aiming for. Because when you're clear about your values, your long-term goals, your why, you're far less likely to fall for short-term temptations. Write down your deepest priorities. Look at them every day. Let them guide your choices when distractions scream for attention. Because when your actions reflect your values, you're not just being productive. You're becoming someone you're proud of. In the last lesson, we explored how discipline is the quiet force that helps you stay grounded in your values. Now let's talk about one of the greatest enemies of progress, one that often hides in plain sight: procrastination. Stop putting things off and being lazy. We've all been there. You know what needs to be done, and yet You scroll, you delay, you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow becomes next week, next month, and eventually, never. And here's the real danger. Procrastination and laziness don't just waste your time, they slowly erode your potential. In Stoic philosophy, these behaviors aren't just bad habits. They're obstacles to your own evolution. When you choose comfort over effort, you trade your highest self for a fleeting moment of ease. You settle for the path of least resistance, and as a result, your goals become distant, blurry images, always in sight, but never in reach. But what if I told you the Stoics left us a clear antidote to this self-sabotage? It starts with one simple realization. The present moment is all you truly own. Marcus Aurelius urged us to live each day as if it were our last, not out of fear, but as a reminder that wasting time is the one theft we commit against ourselves. Death doesn't wait, and neither should we when it comes to doing what matters. Epictetus, always sharp in his clarity, reminds us, we are not victims of habit, we are the makers of them. Every time we put something off, we are choosing inaction. And that choice, repeated enough times, becomes a character flaw. Not because we can't act, but because we keep choosing not to. So how do we overcome this? By making purposeful discomfort our ally. Yes, it's uncomfortable to begin a hard task. It's easier to check notifications or scroll endlessly. But every time you choose to step into that discomfort, you're reclaiming control. You're telling your mind, we act, we move, we grow. Seneca, as always, gives us a wake-up call. He noted something truly painful. We guard our money and possessions fiercely, but we let our time, the most precious thing, be stolen without resistance, by others and by ourselves. The solution? Order, intention, awareness. Structure your day with purpose. Create time blocks for meaningful work. And don't let distractions, emails, noise, notifications rob you of your focus. Recognize these interruptions for what they really are. Thieves of your future. This isn't about becoming a productivity machine. It's about reclaiming your time as your life. When you practice living with awareness, fully immersed in each task, you begin to break the chains of procrastination. So next time you hear that voice in your head saying, not now, ask yourself, if not now, when? Because the Stoics didn't wait for inspiration. They acted. They understood that laziness isn't a flaw in energy. It's a flaw in clarity. And when you get clear on your values, your time becomes sacred. You don't waste it. You invest it. Having freed ourselves from the grip of procrastination, the next challenge is not just to act once, but to keep acting again and again with intention. That's where the power of habit comes in. Make good habits a habit. Think of your life as a garden. Every action you take, no matter how small, is like planting a seed. And just like a garden needs consistent care to bloom, your character needs daily habits to grow strong, wise, and virtuous. In the garden of Stoic philosophy, good habits are not just suggestions. They are the very tools for transformation. These aren't grand gestures or one-time resolutions. They are small, intentional choices made day after day. They are the quiet rituals you follow when no one is watching, the way you rise with purpose, reflect in silence, speak with kindness, or push through discomfort with courage. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, reminded us that excellence isn't a one-time event. Excellence, he said, is not an act, but a habit. That means greatness isn't found in a single moment of strength, but in the repeated decision to live with discipline, virtue, and clarity. So what do good Stoic habits look like? They start with mindfulness, checking in with your thoughts, noticing when emotions try to hijack your reason. They grow through gratitude, appreciating what you have rather than craving what you lack. They deepen with resilience, choosing to endure hardships without complaint. And they shine through in justice and honesty, treating others fairly, and living in alignment with your principles. Epictetus, ever practical, urged us to focus not on perfection, but on progress. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until life is calm. Practice your habits now, especially when it's hard, because those moments when you're tempted to give up but choose to stay the course are where your character is truly forged. Seneca gave us another key: time. He warned us never to waste it. Every moment you spend on a good habit, reading, reflecting, working on your craft, is a moment invested in your future self. But every moment spent in distraction, laziness, or mindless consumption is time you'll never get back. So how can you make good habits stick? Start small. Anchor them to your daily routine. Reflect at night. Did I act with virtue today? Track your wins. Forgive your slips. And always return. This is not about being flawless. It's about being faithful to your path. When you commit to good habits with the consistency of a Stoic, your life becomes more than just a series of days. It becomes a deliberate work of art, one brushstroke at a time, shaping you into the person you're meant to be. Now that we understand the power of building good habits, the next step is applying them with intention every single day. Because real change doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small, repeated choices that slowly shape us into the person we aim to become. Incorporate good habits, one intentional step at a time. Each day is a fresh canvas waiting for your deliberate strokes. With every small action rooted in Stoic values, you're not just getting through life, you're shaping a legacy. Adopting good habits isn't just a productivity hack, it's a lifestyle, a long-term investment in the person you want to be. The Stoics taught that the habit of doing good was far more powerful than a one-time act of virtue. For them, to live well was to live consistently, day in, day out, in alignment with justice, wisdom, courage, and temperance. This is how you create a stable foundation for lasting growth and peace. So how do we turn Stoic lessons into real-life habits? Begin with clarity. Start by identifying the virtues and values you want to live by. Write them down. Is it self-control, honesty, compassion? Once you're clear on what matters most, link them to specific, doable actions. If you value temperance, mindful eating could be one habit. If you value courage, perhaps it's speaking up when it matters, even if it's uncomfortable. Start small, stay consistent. Don't try to overhaul your entire life in one day. Choose one habit and commit to it daily, even if it's just 5 minutes. Consistency, not intensity, is what rewires your brain. A 5-minute gratitude journal every morning will create more change than a 1-hour session once a month. The key is to show up, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Attach new habits to existing ones. Want to develop mindfulness? Do a 1-minute check-in right after brushing your teeth. Want to reflect more? End your day with a quick journaling session before bed. These habit triggers make your new behaviors easier to remember and stick to. Track your journey. Reflect often. Use a notebook or an app to track your progress. At the end of each week, ask yourself, how did these habits impact my mood, mindset, or choices? Are they bringing me closer to the person I want to become? Celebrate your wins, even the small ones, and be honest about what needs adjusting. Be kind to yourself when you slip. No transformation is linear. You'll miss a day. You'll feel resistance. That's okay. Don't punish yourself for being human. The Stoics never asked for perfection, only persistence. If you skipped your habit today, get back to it tomorrow. If your workout didn't happen, plan a lighter one next time. What matters is that you return again and again to the path. Remember, every small effort counts. Over time, these repeated actions form the architecture of a life well lived, a life built not on fleeting emotions, but on solid, deliberate choices. So ask yourself, what habit will you start today? What small commitment can you make that, if repeated, will elevate your life? Let this be your moment to begin, not with pressure, but with purpose. As we've seen, building strong habits aligned with your values is key to long-term transformation. But what happens when life throws you off course? When the storm hits? That's when the next Stoic lesson truly shines. Challenges can be turned into chances. Life isn't a smooth, straight path. It's a winding, unpredictable journey. Think of it as a tapestry, stitched together with moments of joy, sorrow, and uncertainty. Some people stumble at the first obstacle, choosing to retreat or complain. But others, those who walk the Stoic path, see every hardship as a stepping stone toward greatness. Stoicism teaches us that adversity is not something to run from, but something to lean into. It's not just a philosophy for reading, it's a guide for living, especially when things get tough. The Stoics believe that within every obstacle lies a hidden opportunity for growth. One of the most powerful examples of this mindset is the life of Epictetus. Born into slavery, confined not only by chains but also by the rigid constraints of his era, he had every reason to despair. But he didn't. Instead of being crushed by his circumstances, he used them as a forge to strengthen his spirit. His suffering didn't destroy him, it awakened his wisdom. Through silence, reflection, and resilience, Epictetus transformed pain into power. And that's the core of this Stoic lesson. It's not the situation that defines you, it's how you respond to it. Every difficulty is a mirror that reveals your strength or shows you where you still need to grow. So what should you do when life challenges you? Pause, reflect, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this pain to become more patient, more grounded, more wise? This shift in perception is what turns setbacks into setups for personal evolution. Because every challenge you endure is also an invitation to develop your patience, sharpen your discipline, and deepen your empathy. And when you embrace that challenge with courage, you not only grow, you become someone who inspires growth in others. Imagine this. Instead of breaking under pressure, you rise. Instead of complaining, you learn. Instead of resisting life's tests, you turn them into your training ground. That's the Stoic mindset. There will always be storms, unexpected issues at work, relationship struggles, moments of self-doubt. But with the right perspective, each of these can be a spark that lights the fire of transformation. Marcus Aurelius, in the depths of his challenges as emperor, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just a quote, it's a survival strategy. It's a roadmap for turning pain into power. Let others see obstacles as defeat. You embrace them as opportunities. Your real character doesn't emerge when things are easy. It shines brightest when you face difficulty head on, with composure, with resilience, with grace. So ask yourself, what challenge are you facing right now? And how can you use it to grow, to rise, and to lead? By example. Because as a Stoic, you don't just survive hardship, you transform through it. Begin with a small step. It may sound simple, even cliche. Start small, but Stoicism treats this not as a motivational poster quote, but as a profound life principle. Think about it. Even the tallest mountain is climbed one step at a time. Every great transformation, every breakthrough begins not with a giant leap, but with a decision to begin. Let's go back to the roots. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, he didn't set out to become a legendary philosopher. He didn't start with grand ideas or sweeping changes. It all began with a humble step, walking into a bookstore. There, inspired by the works of Socrates, he took his first small step into a world that would later define his legacy. That step didn't look like much from the outside, but it was everything. That's the power of the small step. It might not look impressive, but it's the catalyst. When you face a challenge that seems overwhelming, whether it's building a new habit, improving your mindset, or overcoming pain, the Stoics urge you to focus not on the mountain ahead, but on the ground beneath your feet. What's the next smallest action you can take right now? Because taking action, any action, immediately shifts you from passivity to progress. It breaks the paralysis of overthinking. It puts your intention into motion. Epictetus taught that how we perceive a problem changes how we respond to it. You have power over your mind, not outside events. That's not just a comforting thought. It's a command. Focus on what you can do, and often that starts with a single, simple act. Let's say you're trying to improve your health. Don't obsess over the final goal. Just drink a glass of water. Just go for a short walk. Just stretch for 5 minutes. You're writing a book? Don't worry about finishing a chapter. Just write one honest paragraph. These are the small victories that build momentum. Seneca reminded us that difficulty strengthens the mind just as labor strengthens the body. And how do we build a stronger body? One rep at a time. So too do we build a stronger mind. One decision at a time. One discipline. One refusal to give up. Another lesson? Acceptance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together with all your heart." This doesn't mean resignation. It means looking reality in the face and choosing to move forward with clarity, not complaint. When we stop fighting the uncontrollable, we free up our energy to take action on what we can influence: our thoughts, our behaviors, our attitude. And finally, purpose. The Stoics and later thinkers like Viktor Frankl understood something powerful. He who has a why can bear almost any how. When we find meaning in our suffering, in our struggle, we find strength. Knowing why you wake up, why you fight, why you move, that's what gives your actions weight and your steps direction. So when you feel stuck or overwhelmed, stop looking for massive leaps. Instead, ask, what's the next right step? What can I do right now that honors my values and moves me forward, even if only an inch? Because from that one small step, momentum is born. And from that momentum, your Stoic path unfolds. Develop your purpose through virtue, Throughout history, people have asked one timeless question: what is my true purpose? And while the world may offer 1,000 different answers, success, fame, pleasure, Stoicism offers something deeper, something unshakable. Your purpose is built through virtue. To understand this, look no further than Cato the Younger, a man who stood unwavering in the face of corruption, tyranny, and political chaos. He didn't bend. He didn't compromise. Why? Because he lived by the core Stoic virtues: justice, courage, temperance, and wisdom. His purpose was not found in achieving power, but in living rightly. Cato didn't act for applause. He acted for principle. His entire life was a living example of how meaning is not discovered. It's forged through daily choices that align with our deepest values. And in doing so, he showed us that a purpose built on virtue is stronger than fear, more powerful than ambition, and far more enduring than comfort. So what does this mean for us? It means we must stop chasing shallow goals and start asking better questions. Are my actions shaping the kind of person I want to become? Am I living by my values or just reacting to circumstances? When you begin to live with virtue at the center of your choices, your whole life changes. You stop doing things just to impress others or to win short-term rewards. You act because it's right, because it aligns with who you want to be. And that kind of purpose doesn't fade when things get hard. It intensifies. Virtue becomes your compass. Your actions stop being random, and instead they start forming a direction, a purpose, not just a reason to act, but a reason to endure. Even in the face of overwhelming odds like Cato, you'll find that a virtue-driven purpose gives you the courage to keep moving forward. He didn't choose the easiest path. He chose the noble one. And his legacy lives not because he won, but because he never betrayed what he stood for. This is the Stoic secret. You don't need the world to validate your path. You only need to walk it with integrity. So how do you develop this kind of purpose? Start by defining your core virtues, those inner values you refuse to betray. Then ask yourself each day, are my actions today a reflection of these virtues? When your purpose is rooted in virtue, success is redefined. It's no longer about what you gain. It's about who you become. And that's a purpose strong enough to carry you through anything. So now I ask you, are you building your life around what's easy and popular, or around what's right and true? Because when your life is guided by Stoic principles and every step is aligned with virtue, you'll never walk without purpose again. Cultivating purpose through virtue. Living a purposeful life doesn't happen by accident. It's built choice by choice, day by day. The Stoics reminded us that it's not grand gestures, but the quiet, consistent decisions that reveal our true character. When your choices reflect your dedication to virtue, you create a life of clarity, meaning, and moral power. And that moral power is contagious. Your commitment to living wisely, bravely, fairly, and with balance becomes a silent yet powerful inspiration to those around you. You don't just live with purpose, you become a source of purpose for others. The Stoics believed that real happiness doesn't come from pleasure or possessions, but from virtue. They taught that meaning is found in living according to nature and reason, by embracing the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, the pursuit of understanding and clarity; courage, the strength to face fear and hardship with integrity; justice, the drive to treat others fairly and serve the greater good; temperance, the discipline to live with balance and self-control. When your daily actions reflect these virtues, your purpose sharpens like a blade. You stop drifting and start directing. You no longer just endure life, you shape it. So how can you begin this journey? Start by reflecting on what you truly value. Ask yourself, what are the core beliefs I want to live by? How do they align with Stoic ideals? Write them down. Look at them often. Let them guide your decisions like a lighthouse through the fog of modern life. Then set goals. Not just any goals, but ones grounded in virtue. Don't chase empty achievements. Choose goals that serve both your growth and the good of others. Think progress, not perfection. Even a single thoughtful act done daily will move you forward. Consider forming small habits that reflect your deeper purpose. Journaling at night to reflect on your actions. Starting the day with a Stoic meditation. Reading a few lines from Seneca or Marcus Aurelius. Volunteering or offering support to someone in need. And perhaps most importantly, when life challenges you, meet it head on. See obstacles not as setbacks, but as tests of your virtue. Every hardship becomes a lesson. Every delay, a teacher. Every frustration, a mirror. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Embrace that truth. The Stoic path to meaning isn't found in ease, but in effort, not in comfort, but in courage. So here's your call to action. Embrace the four cardinal virtues. Define your values. Set meaningful goals. Practice virtue daily. And turn every challenge into a lesson. This is the foundation of a purpose-driven life. One rooted in what matters. One that leads not only to success, but to inner fulfillment. Now let's move forward to one final principle that ties everything together. A principle the Stoics believed was essential to peace, clarity, and disciplined action. After grounding our purpose in virtue, the final Stoic lesson brings everything together with clarity and intention. Because what good is wisdom, discipline, and courage if our lives are cluttered with noise? The answer lies in this timeless truth. Simplify your life. Simplify your life. In a world that constantly screams for more things, more speed, more distractions, the Stoic path gently whispers, less but better. Simplifying your life isn't about deprivation. It's about subtraction with purpose. It's about removing what doesn't matter so you can focus on what truly does. The Stoics believed that living simply clears the mind, sharpens the spirit, and opens the heart. Marcus Aurelius, despite ruling the vast Roman Empire, clung to the virtue of simplicity. He understood that complexity often leads to chaos, while simplicity creates freedom. So how do we live this out? Start with your space. Declutter your physical environment. Let go of the things you no longer use, need, or even notice. A clean and organized space isn't just visually calming, it mirrors a clear and focused mind. Every object you own should serve a purpose or spark joy. If it doesn't, let it go. Simplify your time. Time is your most precious currency. Protect it. Identify what truly matters, people, projects, passions, and give your energy to those. Say no to commitments that don't align with your values. Set up a daily routine to reduce chaos and reclaim mental clarity. Tame the digital storm. We live in a world addicted to notifications, but you don't need to be available to everyone all the time. Practice digital minimalism. Limit your screen time. Delete apps you don't use. Turn off non-essential alerts. Use technology as a tool, not as a master. Simplify your finances. Living within your means is a form of discipline and peace. Avoid debt when possible. Create a simple budget. Track your spending. Choose experiences over possessions. A weekend hike or shared meal often brings more joy than the latest gadget ever could. Practice present moment awareness. True simplicity isn't just external, it's internal. Mindfulness is the art of being here, now. You don't need exotic retreats to find it. Try a daily walk in nature, a few minutes of deep breathing, or simply noticing the warmth of your coffee. Be still, be aware, and be grateful. Remember, simplifying your life is not about shrinking it, it's about deepening it. You'll trade chaos for clarity, restlessness for rhythm, noise for stillness. In doing so, your thoughts become sharper, your days more meaningful, and your actions more intentional. As the Stoics would say, it's not how many things you have that make your life rich. It's the quality of those things. Strip away the excess. Find beauty in simplicity, and let your life speak not through clutter, but through clarity. Even with immense power at his fingertips, Marcus Aurelius chose a life guided not by indulgence, but by Stoic principles, simplicity, duty, and inner peace. Despite being emperor, he understood something many of us forget, that clarity often comes not from adding more, but from removing the unnecessary. He recognized that a cluttered life, whether filled with material things or mental noise, obscures our true purpose. When we eliminate distractions and focus only on what truly matters, something powerful happens. Our purpose becomes clear. And with that clarity, we act not out of impulse or habit, but with deliberate intention. We stop reacting and start choosing. In a simplified life, every action carries more weight, more meaning, because it's done with full presence and purpose. Simplicity, then, is not about having less for the sake of less. It's about creating an environment, externally and internally, that encourages virtue. It's about shaping a life where every decision is aligned with your values and every moment becomes an opportunity to live with wisdom. When distractions fall away, character rises. When noise fades, direction emerges. Let us follow in the footsteps of Marcus Aurelius. Let us simplify, not to escape the world, but to engage with it more deeply, more wisely, and more fully. In simplicity, we don't lose richness, we rediscover it. We make space for reflection, intention, and meaningful action. That is the true Stoic path. And now, as we come to the end of this journey together, let's take a moment to reflect. We've walked through 7 Stoic lessons, each one a light that guides us through the fog of confusion and hesitation. Discipline yourself. Stop procrastinating. Make good habits a habit. Turn challenges into opportunities. Begin with small steps. Develop your purpose through virtue. And simplify your life. These aren't just ideas to admire. They're actions to embody. These ancient teachings are not relics. They're tools for modern resilience, purpose, and peace. Every single one is a stepping stone toward becoming the strongest, calmest, and most focused version of yourself. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just leave these lessons in your notebook or on your screen. Live them. Practice them. Build your life around them. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more clarity, more action, more people walking the Stoic path with integrity and strength. If these lessons spoke to you, if they sparked something inside you, please support this channel. Click the like button, leave a comment below with your favorite lesson, and share this video with someone who needs it. And if you're new here, subscribe and join us for more Stoic wisdom to fuel your growth. Until next time, remember, True power lies not in control over others, but in mastery over yourself. Stay disciplined, stay focused, stay stoic.